What is going on, everyone? James, urbanbassslayers, out here in the bait room today, messing around with some stuff, getting a new bait going. Calling this one Granddad's Kicker. Got a little kick to it. Hopefully these things will start catching some fish and somebody can catch a kicker on it. And you try to catch 5 fish, you put on your bigger bait, try to catch a kicker fish. So yeah, I got this guy out a couple times to test swim. It's got a body roll to it and a nice little kick. How I came up with that bait was basically, I was bored one night and I just drew this up on the back of a beer carton thing. I use a lot of those Sierra Nevada beer cartons for like all of my stuff. I don't know why, I just do. But draw it out on a thing, and that's how I do them. I just draw it out. I like to draw a bunch of different stuff. So I got one that's just like a shad, one that's kind of trouty, and then a bluegilly. Got that white on there where I kind of whited out what I was doing and kept drawing it till I got it to look the way I wanted to. So that one will be a little bluegill, and got some blanks going. Got all the carves done on these 3. The main carves. Got the holes drilled. These 3. And I got 2 more. So I got 4 of these guys, which is the like shad. I'm doing 1 of these guys, which is the trout. So these guys will probably all get shad paint jobs and a trout paint job. Who knows what I'll do here. So quick way to show you guys how I weight my baits with lead is I've made a little jig here with 2 pieces of wood. Don't mind the helicopter going over. Got this little jig with 2 pieces of wood. This one's just janky. The wood will burn when you pour your lead. So just take little pieces of these cut off boards, drill some holes in it. This one will probably end up getting tossed in the garbage pretty soon after so many pours. I'll just take another couple pieces of board, screw them together, and pour your lead. The way I pour my lead is I have a lead pot, but I do not use it anymore. It takes way too long to heat up, and it takes yeah, it's a pain in the butt. I'm saying that wrong. It clogs up too much. So what I've done is I go and I get these coils of lead from like Walmart. I ordered this one online. And I just take a torch like this, just a regular old torch, and torch, bam, into there, and that's it. It's that simple. I'll actually do one real quick for you guys to show you what it's like. Get some of these things out of the way so I don't burn them. Make sure I got it in the camera. Turn that heat down a little bit. I always want to go like 1 more drip on it because it's always going to want to dimple on you. And then what I do, where is my file? I'll come back with the file while it's still kind of wet, hot. Hit it with the file. And it's still soft right now before it completely hardens. I'll get a little bit of overpour on it, but you get the gist of it. I'll just file that down a little bit more, unscrew this thing, pop that guy out, and then you will end up with these little guys. Now what you're going to do with those, when you get your hole drilled for your ballast weight and your weight, you always want a ballast weight on the bottom of your baits. What that's going to do when you cast it into the water and it hits, say it lands this way, it's going to flip the bait and it's going to keep it swimming the way it needs to swim. You don't need too much, you just need to learn over the years doing this stuff reading a lot of forums and going on YouTube, going on Facebook, going on forums and reading other people's failures and their wins and figuring stuff out. The reason why I do it this way, I just put a video out about that, is because when you keep doing it, this wood will burn, and you don't want to burn your actual blanks. And when I was first doing it, I was doing it that way. So some of my original baits, they would get a little burned, and I'd have to get in there and sand it and then take the epoxy. A lot of times I'll use this Bob Smith Industries. It's the slow cure 30-minute epoxy, and I use that to coat my baits and to seal the wood. But what I've been doing since I have KBS, big jar of it, this stuff is very temperamental, and you have to have a room that is temperature controlled. I do not have that. I do not have the option for that. So the KBS works really great for me at certain times of the year. Other times of the year, it just does not work for me. Other people, it's great for. So what I use this extra for that I have left is I'm actually taking my blanks, and instead of using the BSI to coat the wood and seal it, I'm actually using the KBS. And I read that on a forum on the lure and bait making page on Facebook, and this guy said the same thing. He had a bunch of KBS left over, and he read up on their website, and it said it is actually really good for a sealer like that for wood. So it takes a little while for it to dry, but that's what I've been doing. So like with this dude, I just did a quick one because it takes so long for it to dry. I used the BSI on this one, so kind of cheated. I had the bill in a different spot. It wasn't quite swimming the way I liked. It was knocking, but it wasn't rolling. I like my baits to roll and knock. The reason I like that is you got like the dark on the top and the lights on the bottom, and what that's going to do to the fish is it's going to see the dark light, and that's going to flash on them as it's swimming. Then it's going to knock also with the roll, and yeah, we'll start making some more tails. I make all of my own tails out of recycled plastic, or I get my plastics. I was getting it from Do It Molds. I may switch up and go to a different company. I don't know. It's been a minute. I made like 100 or something tails a while ago, and I still have yet to go through all of them. I just use plastisol. It's just recycled plastisol, man. So those were a bunch of white baits I had, and a lot of times the white doesn't like to remelt, but this stuff did, so I was able to make some tails out of it. And I mean, they're pretty durable. You can't really, it is plastisol, but you're not going to really tear them. A lot of people don't like it, the plastisol ones, but I've yet to really had one tear out, you know what I mean? I just put 2 holes in there, and it's the same exact width as a toothpick, and I make sure that it's just the right size to where that toothpick like has to be pushed in there, and it works, man. So this one's got the double joint, as you can see in there, with the holes, with the pin, which gives it like a tighter walk and also gets that squeak. Right. So moving on here. Next thing on these baits is the lips. When you buy these lips, I get these on lurepartsonline.com. Lurepartsonline.com. Get all my hardware, all of my line ties, all of my stuff. Lure Parts Online. You can get stuff like the jitter lips and all kinds of stuff like that. The walking lips, you can get all that stuff. Lure Parts Online. So when you get these, they come long. This is a round one, but they come long, and you got to cut them down to size for what you're using. And then they're also really rough when they come. So I take a razor blade and go on the back side. One side is actually rounded, but the back side's not. So you got to come, and you got to be careful too, because you can scratch the bills and you'll mess it up. So I come along with one of these, and I just scrape, the corners down until it's nice and smooth. I mean, they will come rough. And then also with these, I'll kind of take some sandpaper very carefully around the edges, make sure it looks all good. And then, pop right in there. I've been doing woodwork my whole life, so when I cut and make these baits. For some weird reason, man, I can always cut those bill slots perfect on my bandsaw. Even though my blade's a little dull, I need to put a new bandsaw blade on there. I got one, I'm just being lazy. Got a lot of family stuff going on. So anyways, get them lips in there. I got to get my line ties in here. So tomorrow, I was supposed to cut these out and finish them today. I had some family stuff go on. So tomorrow I will be cutting all of these baits in half, cutting the tail slots, and then sanding the two inside pieces and sanding this stuff. I hand sand everything. I'll be drilling the holes, getting the pinhole done, and all the other stuff ready, getting the hardware, all that good stuff on it. And then these guys, oops, the weights, the lead, will be epoxied, 2-ton epoxied into the hole to hold it in. What was next? When I do use the BSI epoxy, a little trick here is I use these plastic bristled brushes. You can get them online, you can get them at Walmart. They're plastic bristles, and I cut the backs off, and you can use this to mix your epoxy. If you're mixing the Bob Smith and they're nice and bendy, you can get like down in the epoxy and really mix it. And I take the extra piece and I glue them together, and I make a big fat wider brush like this. That way I can really mix that epoxy and get it smoothed on faster. You got a better working area. These things are so cheap, you just use them, toss them in the garbage. Keep the ends of them. The thing with the BSI, or excuse me, the KBS, is you can't use brushes on it. It really ends up like messing the baits up. You get a lot of fish eyes if you don't have perfect temperature and all that stuff going on. So yeah, anyways, oops, as I just trip over my chair here, a bunch of my tails that I made, pink and whatever. I put them in little bags, reds, pinks. Those are all recycled plastics. This is some stuff that I made a long time ago. I think I made these like 4 years ago. Still have them, man. Anyway, what's next? So these baits, I got 5 of these going right now. I've got a whole box full of them ready to go. They're all marked out. These guys are all marked out, trouts, and the other ones, whoa, don't drop them. Takes a long time to mark these out. I hand mark them all with my little paper jigs. Takes a little while to do it, but you know, that's how we do it here. One day, maybe I will go to doing resin baits, but I don't know, man. It's expensive and it's time consuming. So I was saying, I use these guys. Start out making my center line, square it on the block, and then go from there. So anyways, Urban Bass Slayers, thank you guys for watching this video. Just a pretty quick one on making some handmade wooden fishing lures for bass or any other type of species of fish that you could think of to catch big fish on. I'm going to be painting these up pretty soon here. Next couple of days, once I get them all sealed up and get them ready to go. Get this guy, I'm going to file that guy a little bit more and get that piece off of there. Make it all nice and smooth. Anyways, also working on some walking baits. I had some problems with these. I built another one before, and it swims really good. I think what I did wrong is I accidentally weighted this thing a little bit too much, and it likes to sit in the water a little bit farther down than the original that I made. Really love the paint job on this. A buddy of mine, Anthony, from Swimbait Universe, bought a couple of these off of me, and they just were not swimming right, man. Kind of bummed me out. So as you can see, there's a couple extra holes in there, which I'm going to have to fix up and patch up. But trying to get these walking baits, man, they are just a pain in the butt to get right, man. If you've ever built or tried to build a walking bait with these wings, I mean, they're so temperamental, man. It'll walk one cast, the next cast it'll drag. It'll walk part way, and then it won't. So I think what my deal is with these is the flat body. So I have designed another bait to try to see if I can get it to walk. And I was also thinking about possibly throwing some wings on one of these guys. So I think one of these guys would work with the wings about right yonder. But I don't know. I digress. Anyways, Urban Bass Slayers, just out here messing around in the bait room and getting some stuff going. Got a whole bunch of stuff going. And yeah. I need to get out and go fish a little bit more. I kind of redesigned the rat a little bit. I put a smaller bill on it, and instead of having 4 lead holes, it's now only got 2. It still swims just as good. It's lighter now, so my original ones will be heavier. The smaller bill allows it to still kick. It still kicks normal like a bait would, but there's something about, let me grab this guy, there's something about these longer billed baits. And with that long bill, it looks like this thing would dive, but it doesn't. What happens is that water hits right here in the corners as it's pulling through the water, and it gets this bait doing this in the water. And I mean, we have a video that's about it's just about to hit like 50 million views. It's a short video of one of these squirrel baits, rat baits, swimming in the water, and you can totally see and listen to the sound of it. And it's like I was saying, when you get it going like that, the colors start flashing to the fish. When you get that flash going, that's the money right there. It took me a long time to learn that, but once I learned that, game over. So everything that I'm building from now on, I try to get that wobble to it. As a matter of fact, I may be able to throw that pattern onto one of these blanks. It's funny how I do it. I'll make like one bait and then just do the carves for like multiple things. I can do anything really. I mean, I really could take my time to round these off like way more. If I'm gonna actually do some molds in the future, I would like to go through a certain company to have them do the molds. But if I was gonna do it, I would detail these things out a lot, like super detail them out and get them looking really good, and then mold it. I'd have the bodies rounder. There'd be more detail on the faces. Yeah, I got a couple baits over there, but anyways, I digress again. So yeah, I gotta get to finishing these baits up. Thank you guys for watching. I got 5 of these going out to a couple buddies for field testing, and then once I get some results, and if they catch some fish, then I will be making a whole bunch more of these. So anyways, Urban Bass Slayers, love you guys. Thank you for watching. And if you got any questions, hit me up. If you got any, if you are a bait builder yourself, you got any questions, hit me up. I know a bunch of stuff. And like I said, go on the forums, go on the bait building YouTube pages, Facebook, YouTube pages, and then also Instagram is really good. I do like to look at other people's stuff, other bait maker stuff, but I've kind of stopped doing that. A lot of times you'll see stuff other people are doing, and for some reason your mind will go, oh, how about that? I've learned that that's like the wrong thing to do and the wrong path to take also. So I try to avoid looking at other people's stuff and just like draw something out of my head. I don't know, something like that. And just something normal, you know, I don't know, something different shape. This bait is actually a shad shape for a skinny glide bait that I made, but for some weird reason it fit on these blocks of wood, and I made a 3-piece out of it, and the rest is history. Sharp hooks. Anyways, Urban Bass Slayers, love you guys. Thanks for watching. It's October, almost the end of October. Fishing is tough right now. I haven't been able to get out much. Been doing a lot of family stuff, trying to get life dialed in to make sure family is good. And yeah, life is tough right now. Economy's bad, and about to have an election. And yeah, anyway, Urban Basslers. Thanks for watching, guys.